Hey, what's going on? When you hear the two terms, digital nomad and location independent, do you think that they're the same thing? I'm going to get back to that in a minute, but in the meantime, do you dream of dumping the American dream of a corporate job, 60-hour work weeks, long commutes, and only 2 weeks of vacation per year, and replacing it with an exciting life of travel and prestige? Because if you haven't noticed it yet, the conventional dream that we've all been sold sucks. But if you've ever looked into living abroad, or maybe you've already started living as a digital nomad, you might worry that living that life means sacrificing your long-term ambition to travel the world as a broke gypsy. And really, it's pretty easy to see why you might be thinking that way. I mean, if you look at any of the chatter in the Facebook communities, all you hear about is, how to survive on $800 a month. And most of the people who are living as digital nomads are living day to day. They're not building a legacy. And if you have any ambition at all, that lifestyle kind of probably doesn't resonate with you. Now, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And I'm not going to lie, there is something romantic about being a digital nomad. I mean, roaming the world with your laptop, working at a sidewalk cafes, swinging from a hammock on the beach, and even exploring a new country every day of the week if that's what you want to do. But the truth is, most people can't live as a digital nomad forever. Eventually, you're going to want to settle down, at least, for part of the year. And eventually, if you're like most people, you're going to want friends and family in your life that last for more than a couple of weeks at a time. And eventually, hopefully, you're going to want to create a legacy, or at the very least, create a nest egg that you can live off of in the future. When I decided that I wanted to leave the great white north and live on a beach in Panama, there was a little bit of information floating around, things about becoming a digital nomad, and I considered and looked at, different freelance work and other traditional nomad routes, things like teaching English, or maybe starting a brick and mortar business in the new location, or just getting a job with a local company wherever I wanted to go. But being an ambitious guy, I just couldn't see a life where I was A, working for somebody else, and B, where I was spending my free time researching places where I could live for cheaper and looking for free Wi-Fi and spending 90% of my time in airports. I knew that I wanted to move south. I lived in Canada, then spent several years in the northern US, and I wanted someplace else. I wanted someplace warmer, quite honestly. But if that place and that idea ever changed, I also wanted the ability to pack up my business and take it with me. And I didn't want to start that business over from scratch every time that I made that move. At this point, I've been living in Panama for about 9 years, so I'm really far from what you would call a digital nomad. I have roots, I have good friends, and I even have family close by. I have this beautiful condo that we live on the beach. But if tomorrow I decide that Colombia or Buenos Aires or Singapore sound like a better choice, I can just pack it all up, and my business doesn't have to start over from scratch. It started from zero when I get there. I've structured my business in a way that if I want to sell it, I can. And if I want to transition to more of a passive ownership style, that option's available to me. Freedom means being able to live and work anywhere in the world you want. And if that means, a new country every week, that's fine. Or if it means putting down roots in just one place, or roots in 2 or 3 places, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have enough money to live how you want. And you're not forced, to move to the next beach town or to some other third world country just because it's going to save you a few bucks. And it's certainly not handing it all over to 2 or 3 different tax authorities because you didn't plan things out the right way, or getting stuck with a huge tax bill when either your digital nomad lifestyle runs out or they catch up on the business you're running. So listen, the way you create this real location-independent lifestyle is by thinking strategically today. Regardless of your current stage of life, you have to stop operating based on where you're at today and hoping that it's all going to work itself out later. And instead, you have to start thinking long-term. In later videos, I'm going to break down what I mean by thinking strategically and the steps that you need to take to actually get that location-independent life. But today, I just want you to understand that being a digital nomad and being location independent are 2 very different things. And while the first one is temporary, usually for most people. The second, location independence, allows you to experience that digital lifestyle if you want to, digital nomad lifestyle if you want to, but it also creates a lifestyle that's going to last you for the rest of your life as you go through the various stages of your life. So if you're not driving, close your eyes for just a second. Where do you see yourself living and working, 6 months or a year from now? Wherever that happens to be, I want you to realize that it is possible, and you don't need to give up your dreams or your ambitions to actually do it and to get there, because there are learnable skills and strategies that you can use to become a location-independent, unconventional entrepreneur.
Would you like to legally avoid taxes, create generational wealth, and live a life of complete freedom? If you answered yes to any of the above, you should immediately download the 1% Game Plan Tax Freedom Playbook. In it, you'll unlock the simple and legal tax and international diversification tactics used by the 1%, investors, traders, and small entrepreneurs to greatly reduce or even eliminate government taxation and live a life of complete freedom and liberty. Internationalization is no longer only for the rich. In this free guide, you'll discover how anyone can diversify, protect their assets, reduce or even eliminate taxes, build an international nest egg, and much more. You'll also uncover our top 9 countries to easily establish your tax-protected banking strategy and 1 sketchy country to stay away from. The 6 shelter accounts banking strategy you must establish to protect and preserve your cash from unnecessary taxation and fees. The 122 square mile crypto mecca, regarded the most friendly and lucrative place to incorporate your location-independent business. You'll enjoy zero capital gains or income taxes here if you incorporate properly. And much, much more. This powerful new report will be available for a limited time only. Click the button below to access your instant download before we start charging for this valuable information. Your access is just a few clicks away.